Good morning. Hi, class.
Class. Good morning, teacher.
Good morning, teacher.
So, Ica Filza pada hari ini. So, I ganti tempat you. Jadi, semua orang boleh duduk tempat masing-masing, okay? Anyway, teacher can't teach you today, so you all have to watch this video. Because teacher na mark paper by you all do, okay?
Okay,
Okay,
teacher.
teacher.
Assalamualaikum and hi to all biology teachers and all my fellow friends. So today, our group, which is me, Wan Ahmad Arif, Neo Rizki, Daniel Zachary and Aidil Muzaffar, will present about chapter 15.5, which is formation of twins. So there are two types of twins, which is identical twins and fraternal twins. Usually, when one sperm fertilizes one ovum, it will form one zygote that will develop into one individual. The zygote divides in the 2-cell stage, and these cells will divide again in the 4-cell stage, and continually to the 8-cell stage, etc. If you still remember, we actually did learn this on chapter 6, cell division in meiosis and mitosis, and it is kinda sort like that. If you can see from the animation, we can assume that the fertilization process is happening right now. Now, the zygote cells will divide itself to multiple cells by in one single zygote. But we actually did have monozygotic twins. So this is what we call as identical twins. So originally it should be divided only in one zygote cells, but now we have a monozygotic twins which is related to the identical twins. So if you want to know if it's an identical twins or not, you just have to acknowledge the early embryo stage. If the early embryos breaks into 2 cells, then it is an identical twins, or we call it as monozygotic twins. So as you can see from the diagram, identical twins is actually different from fraternal twins because identical twins, the baby twins of the identical twins will share only one placenta in the womb of the mom.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Daniel Zaki and I will continue on fraternal twins. What is fraternal twins? Fraternal twins, also known as dizygotic twins, are the result from the fertilization of 2 separate ova during the same pregnancy. The sex of the twins may be the same or different. They share half of their genetic just like any other siblings.
Go away.
No, the ovum is mine.
Oh, yes, I'm gonna win.
Nah, me too.
So based on the video, we can see that there are 2 sperms and 2 ova fertilize each other to form an embryo, and at the end of the result, we will get separate placenta. So based on the video, we can see that if there's a twin with different genders, they are fraternal twins.
The first differences is the product of fertilization. Product of fertilization in identical twins is one ovum and one sperm, forming one zygote, while in fraternal twins, there is 2 sperm and 2 ova, forming 2 zygote. Secondly, the embryo in the identical twins will divide into 2, while in fraternal twins does not. In identical twins, one placenta is shared between 2 fetus, while in fraternal twins, each fetus have its own placenta. Since the identical twins have the same zygote, they will have the same genetic makeup and the same appearance. While in fraternal twins, the genetic makeup and the appearance will be different since they have the different zygote. The sex in the identical twins will be the same, while in the fraternal twins will be the same or different.
Conjoined twins are twins that are physically joined at birth, sometimes sharing organs, and in some cases separable by surgery depending on the degree of fusion. Conjoined twins develop when the division of the embryo in the identical twins is incomplete, which leads to the fusion of some of the physical parts such as chest, abdomen, or buttocks. Sometimes they also share one or two internal organs. There are many types of conjoined twins such as terata ketadedaima, terata anadedaima, and terata anaketadedaima. There is also another type of conjoined twins called parasitic twinning, which happens when one conjoined twin is much smaller and perhaps not as fully formed or developed as the large twin. There is also a much rarer case of parasitic twinning called fetus in vitro. This happens when a malformed twin is discovered inside the body of a host twin. Conjoined twins may have a difficult life as they must always be together. They also don't have any time alone and their movements are limited. Most of them die before they are born or have short lifespan. Some of them may be able to be separated through surgery, but it depends on the joint part and the internal organs that they share.
Over the past few decades. These are complex operations, but with detailed planning they can be broken down into a number of smaller, safer steps. The first step is to do a detailed assessment of the twins, their brains and the blood vessels, and how they join together. We also study the skull and the soft tissues. Following the assessment, a detailed plan is drawn out. For the first 2 to 3 procedures, we focus on separating out the brains and the blood vessels. Once this is successfully done, a piece of plastic is put between the 2 brains, and internally we have 2 separate kits. We then focus on the skull and the skin. We put tissue expanders to stretch the skin, and the final reconstruction is done by reconstructing the top of their heads with their own bone and covering the top of their heads with the expanded skin. At the end of the final stage, we have 2 separate babies instead of a conjoined pair.
So, video habis. Ada apa-apa soalan?
Teacher, I have a question about the twins blood type. Does twins have the same blood type?
Okay, like this. Identical twins will have the same blood type, with few very rare expectations. Fraternal twins might have the same blood type, or they may have different types. However, twins with the same blood type can be either fraternal or identical. So, there is still a chance for both identical twins or fraternal twins to have the same blood type.
Teacher, if I am a twin, do I have an increased chance of having twins?
Good question, George. It was once believed that identical twins occur at random. There is now some evidence to suggest that identical twins may run in families. It is believed that there are genetic factors that can cause hyperevolution, which is the release of multiple eggs during ovulation.
Teacher, what happened when one of the twin babies dies in utero?
Brilliant question. Technically, in about 5% of twin pregnancies, one will demise after 20 weeks gestation. When the twins are identical and share a placenta, there is an increased risk of 15% that the other twin will also pass away. But for twins that do not share a placenta, the risk is much lower for the surviving twin to also pass away, is in 3%, or develop neurological impairments of 2%. Okay, any other questions? Okay, I guess that's all for today, right? Thank you so much, class, for contributing today. I love you.